Here's what's coming your way on Animal Outtakes. We rewind the clock for some classic stories we've brought you, starting with a trip to an alpaca farm where the hair and the teeth made us smile for a long time. And talk about teeth? We take a look back at our trip to Gatorama. Plus, we wanted to share an impactful story about how a group of concerned citizens helped change the course of history for a small town in Florida. Don't go anywhere. It's time to rewind and revisit some of our fan favorites on Animal Outtakes. We start our trip down memory lane today with a story focused on alpacas. It's hard not to fall in love with their big eyes, their stylish hair, and their inquisitive nature.
This is Lunacy Alpaca Farm. We're located here in Claremont, Florida. It's a small farm, little 5-acre spread out here. We have 5 llamas on the farm, and then we have alpacas. This is the boy side. These are male alpacas. These are the boys. And the alpacas are a little smaller than a llama. We have over 40 alpacas on the farm. So alpacas are like a 6-year-old human, where llamas are like a 12. So you have to have something on a farm that can protect the poor alpacas. They're very low on the food chain, and they're skittish about everything. So we have llamas on our farm who will give a presence, and llamas see the world, where alpacas are kind of more of a, what do we have to eat, what are we doing? So they are inquisitive. Stop. Boys care about food, and girls. That's what they care about. And since the girls are way over there, all they care about right here is food. Very curious. They have huge eyes. So an alpaca has short, straight ears, where a llama has banana-shaped ears. They have big eyes, long eyelashes. Everyone's worried. You have 3 concerns. Do they spit? Do they kick? Do they bite? That's what your concerns are. So this animal is scared of you. When you go to most farms, they're going to run away from you because they're not socialized as much, and they really don't know you. Once they get to know you, they're going to play with you. They have a hard. They come from high altitude, and the very end of their nose is very squishy, so you can see. Very squishy. And that's because at high altitudes, he can pull a lot of air. They can flare their nostrils. They have a huge nasal cavity, and they can pull a lot of air. At 10,000 feet, there's not a lot of air. One of their major defenses is they can spit. They spit so they can run away. They're a flight animal. They're scared of everything. They're scared of the chickens and the ducks and the dogs and the cats until they get to know them and know they won't get hurt. People love these animals, but they're not familiar with the animals, so we're trying to have an experience where they could come in and interact and find out what they're about. Can this animal spit on you? Yes. Are they spitty all the time? No. They're not trying to. They want to know what you're up to, and with their ears going back, they're more or less asking, hi, what are you here for? Every one of my alpacas and llamas on my farm, you can actually feed with an open hand. But since they have no top teeth, you can also feed this animal with your fingers. But that takes a little bit. You got to give it a try, and then once you figure out they're not going to hurt you. Now, yes, I felt his teeth. His teeth are there, but he's using his lips to take it, moves it to the back, and when you'll notice that their lower jaw goes back and forth, and because they have molars on top and bottom, they eat grass, and so they're simply going to grind it and then swallow it. This animal will take all the stress out of your life if you just spend a couple minutes with this animal, because they're very loving and all they want to do is interact with you. They are a little competitive though, so you got to make sure that each one of them actually gets his fair share, otherwise I could get spit on. we're gonna go over and see Cosmo, one of the smartest animals. So your fear would be, will he hurt you? Well, llamas have huge lips. Hi, Winston. So Winston is the 4-year-old. So I actually push Cosmo away because I don't want to get spit on, because they can be very competitive when it comes to food. But look at the beautiful eyes, long eyelashes, and look at his banana-shaped ears. It's like having a bunch of children. Some are a little more standoffish but want to eat. Some are going to want to be in your face, and like, this is Levi. He's a Great Dane puppy. That's what he thinks. So he wants to sit in your lap and he wants all the attention because he's still very immature. And then Midas is more of a, hi, what are you doing? He'll true interaction, but after a while we'll walk off going, okay, there's no food. So we're just kind of very laid back. I've taken them, conditioned them to where they know that people aren't going to harm them. And now they're very inquisitive and very interactive. I want people to come out and enjoy the animal. They really don't have a frame of reference on what the animal is. They're cute, they're cuddly, they're gonna spit on me, they can bite. I want to where you, after you've been here an hour and you've relaxed and they've interacted with you and you go, I have a lot of people go, we don't wanna leave, because they just kind of pull all the stress out of you. When you call the dinner bell, come here, girls. Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, girls. Come on. What are y'all doing? Look at you. Who are you? What are you doing? That's what they're thinking. Now, they are a little competitive. So, and every one of them you can feed 2 ways. Open hand, you didn't get that. Open hand. Now, when you have, there's some alpha females here, older sisters that want all the food. So sometimes you have to know, this is one of those, and they'll push the little ones out. Like this is a little 4-year-old, this is Colby. And so sometimes you just have to make sure that the little ones get their fair share. They're not gonna do that. And some very timid one, this is Pippi. Pippi's very, very standoffish. Now, there's 2 types of alpacas. There's poofy ones and long silky ones. Thank you. This is a poofy one. This is called a Wakaya. H-U-A-C-A-Y-A, poofy like a teddy bear. 85% of the alpacas in the United States are poofies. 15% is a sign of love. Okay?
Got it.
Now, interacting with animals is bringing you back to nature. It's bringing you back to an animal that wants to interact with just you. It's you one-on-one with an animal, or a herd of animals where they just want to come up and say, hi, how are you? And once you figure out that they trust you, you may be a little apprehensive when you start, but once you interact with them and find out that they're not going to hurt you, you just want to interact and play with, and they're soft, they're cuddly, they're fun. You know, people go, this is my favorite animal, and you go, have you ever met one? They go, no. And then an hour later, they don't want to leave the farm because they're going, I didn't know it was this much fun.
Coming up after the break, we're taking a walk on the wild side. That's next.
At Dante's Den Foundation, we let the dogs tell us who they are. We welcome our boarding friends with open arms and open hearts. When your pup spends time with us, we offer a personalized experience, from how they like to play to when they need to relax. Our staff is on site 24/7, and we honor dietary needs along with special requests. We do our best to make it a home away from home by providing a safe and comfortable environment. Dante's Den Foundation. It's a great place to be a dog.
Welcome back to our Look Back.
Gatorama is owned and operated by 5th and 6th generation Florida Crackers, and we're proud of it. So what you have to remember is these guys are as leery of you as you are of them. So that's how we can walk. Now, right, they're gonna try to get away from us in the wild or in captivity. So right now on a bright sunny day, and it's cool, that's really the best time for gator gazing, because they're out on the banks soaking up the sun, and at nighttime they're all in the water trying to warm up.
Patty Register and her son Ben know a thing or two about alligators. They've made it their mission to educate others about alligators and crocodiles.
So this is what an alligator slide would look like in the wild, from dragging his tail back and forth, going from one body of water to another. You are at Gatorama, south of Palmdale in Glades County, Florida. We are about 1.5, almost 2 hours from Bradenton, less to Sarasota. And we name them based on their personality.
Or characteristics. Like this is Scar. Scar, hold. Scar, hold. So Scar, you can see right here, it's hard to tell with the duckweed on him. The duckweed is actually maybe we should back up. Duckweed actually acts as a filter, but Scar we actually caught at Fishing Creek, and you can look right there. Hold.
Yeah, he has a scar in his jaw.
Hold. So that's why his name's Scar. Then we have, I think he's hissed off with an H.
I was a commercial banker back before my dad bought this farm. Wore hose and heels every day back then. And when Dad bought the farm, I thought he had to be crazy. So did my mom. And but it was obvious that it was too much for them to do. And so my husband got out. It was time for him to get out of U.S. Navy subs. And we were looking for something else to do. And so Dad made us an offer we thought we couldn't refuse. That was right when alligators were taken off the endangered species list. He wanted to be in on the ground floor of a new Florida industry, and he had grown up in the Everglades. I was interested in tourism, and I love sharing stories about Florida, and I always thought Gatorama is pretty much like a natural museum, natural history museum. We pretty much, with upgrades, we're pretty much the same as we were back in the 50s.
You know, you can't see down their throat though, so if they were to grab you, you know, they're not going to drown in the water. So if they have your hand, just open that valve. So 36 years, 37 years, I've been right here on this property. That's all. Almost a lifetime.
Benson has been working with alligators since he was probably 6 years old, of course. And our grandson is today, but you know, we start them out with a very healthy respect and of course, very small animals.
I mean, they're dinosaurs and we can actually not communicate with them, but train them and talk to them. And so that's really the next thing that's kind of born into it, so I don't have a choice. I do have a choice, you know, I have my fire science degree, my EMT degree, but it's just, they're alligators. I mean, we can train them, we can sit on them, we can ride them into the water. You can just go like this, open, and they open their mouth. You know, I mean, they're easier to train than dogs are actually, or cat. So, but to me, it's just like working behind a desk at a 9 to 5. You know, I take it for granted, I guess you could say. I'm desensitized just as much as the alligators are desensitized to me.
We all know our limits. Like for me, I do a lot of our field trips and we have lots of schools come. And my limit is about 4 foot. And because you have to know the animal and your strengths and your weaknesses.
No, I like working with alligators because they're just easier to understand than people are actually. It's like this famous Steve Irwin quote, you know what the alligator or crocodile's intentions are. They want to eat you. I mean, that's what they do. People, you know.
Gatorama has thousands of gators. The ones in the front pond are here to stay. This is where the big boys live.
I think fear is healthy, because if they see us doing stupid human tricks, then they're gonna try it themselves. You know, my first nuisance alligator call, it was in Moorhaven. A kid lost his arm because he saw somebody on TV doing something. He's like, oh, I can do it. He did it for like 2 seconds, and then he lost his arm. So you want to have a healthy fear for alligators. You want to respect them. You want to watch them from a distance. You don't want to do what we do. If you do want to do what we do, come to a facility like ours and volunteer and learn and work your way up. But yeah, you just can't jump on an alligator or try to pet it or even feed it in the wild. It's against the law to even feed it, you know.
They're also a licensed alligator breeding farm where the gators are harvested. And Patty says the two operations are completely separate from each other.
Alligators came off the endangered species list, and Florida put together a management program. You know, with over, some say 2.5 million alligators in Florida, we need to manage that population. So we participate in the alligator management program in 2 ways. We, of course, raise alligators for meat and hides. None of these on our attraction are the farm. We have a separate farm, and we raise them to be about 2.5 years old and 5 foot long. And we also participate in the alligator wetland egg collection each year in July. By giving value to an animal, such as the American alligator, you are giving landowners a reason to keep that land undeveloped as private wetlands. And you're also you should be doing away with like the black market. Every alligator that is farmed.
The family hopes that by giving people an up-close experience, it'll make them care about our environment.
It is part of Florida's history, and it certainly is my history and my family's history. And you know, there's another part to Florida than beaches, even though there are beautiful beaches here, and thank you that people come to Florida for beaches. But we want to keep alive the ways of the early settlers to Florida, and that's right here near Lake Okeechobee and in the Everglades. So that's why we think it's important.
They also hope this old Florida family-owned attraction is around for a long time. It's not something you come by easily these days.
A better understanding of alligators, that they are not necessarily a menace, that they learn, please do not feed them in the wild, that is really signing their death certificate, and that they have an appreciation for the animal. They've made good memories with their families. That personally is very important to me. And that they understand alligator management and conservation.
Just great memories of respect for alligators and crocodiles, and just to take care of nature. You only got one Earth. You only got one life, too.
So we are in Kings Bay, Crystal River. We are just going past the Lingbia processing site as part of the Kings Bay Restoration Project. And what they're doing, as you can see the machines moving around and everything, is they're actually taking muck and algae and all the gross things that are on the bottom of the river, and they're pulling it out, they're removing it. Their goal is to create a situation where the bottom is suitable for plant growth. So instead of having muck and algae and all those gross things that make the water look, you know, kind of yucky, we're going to replace that with native plants that will make the water look clear, will provide habitat for fish, provide a food source for manatees, and really keep this entire system much more stable.
Biologist Ryan Brushwood says the work that's being done has changed the course of this entire ecosystem. The mindset: take away what shouldn't be there and replace it with what should.
We are going into the 6th year of the project. We've directly planted 50 acres, and that includes the muck removal and everything. But what that has correlated to is the spread of these plants out to what we estimate being 100, 200 acres. It's kind of just taken off like wildfire.
It created a snowball effect that has led to plants escaping outside of the original project footprint, colonizing around the rest of the Kings Bay, and it has turned the water from an algae-dominated system back into a plant-dominated system where they have year-long forage for manatees, ducks, turtles, snails, fish, you name it, it's here now. Seagrass and submerged plants are so important to water bodies because they provide primary forage for food. They sequester nutrients, they build up and store carbon, they oxygenate the water system, and then they stabilize the seabed. They are critically important to a healthy estuary.
Hundreds of manatees migrate to Kings Bay and Crystal River each Florida winter, which makes the location one of the largest seasonal refuges for manatees on the state's Gulf Coast. This can make the area a tough spot to give the newly planted plants enough time to survive before being eaten.
Here in Crystal River, you have one of the highest manatee populations in the wintertime. They use it for warmth, for thermal refuge during the winter. And they love to eat seagrass, along with many other things. Love to eat eelgrass here, really any kind of submerged aquatic plant. And it can be a challenge in the project. So one of the ways we have overcome that is by protecting it temporarily with cages. We use pre-rooted plants that are going to establish quickly and do their thing, go down there, shoot out their roots, shoot out their rhizomes, and start growing. And we check on them each month too and give them whatever they need to ensure that survival.
They have come so far.
Over the years, we've had some issues. We've had saltwater intrusion, we've had hurricanes, we've had people with too much fertilizer, we've had this area all had septic tanks that drained. That's taken care of now. So it wasn't just one issue. And so then all the detritus came down, and then it was disgusting. And my house is right around the corner. And there was a point 4 years ago. I wouldn't go sit on my back porch because it smelled so bad because of the Lingbia. And when I retired from teaching, I was like, oh, I'm going to go out. And so I was cleaning it up every day. And I said, this isn't working. Save Crystal River is a group of community people. It's a nonprofit, 501c3, but it was just local people who said, we've got to do something here. This just isn't working. This isn't our river. Actually, the president and the vice president contacted Sea and Shoreline and a few other things, and they found out what might work. And there were so many naysayers. Oh my gosh. They said, this isn't going to work, you're crazy. And it's working, and everybody's excited. Everybody, the county, the city. We even had we had a few teachers who were like, that's not gonna work. And now this is working, this is awesome. It's awesome, it's proven.
By eliminating the factors we could control, right, and planting these native plants, removing this muck off the bottom, we gave this system a spark that it needed to recover. And I absolutely think that model can be replicated all throughout the state.
And we'll be right back.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org.
We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. Lily and I will be back here again next week with even more animals and some educational and engaging encounters. Until then, thanks for watching.
Like never getting too comfortable around.
Yeah, once you get comfortable, that's when you get bit. That's when body parts come off. I got bit like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and just made a mistake, and it happens, But if I didn't have my hand in his mouth, I wouldn't have gotten bit. So it's not the animal's fault that bit me. It was my fault for putting myself in that position.